This podcast is brought to you by Podomatic. Go to podomatic.com today to start yours for free. Welcome back to Nellascope. I'm Chris Nella, host and creator of Nellascope. Let me tell you who Nellascope is for. Independent creatives who want to level up their craft to stand out from the crowd. The benefits you'll get from the show are you will learn the actionable steps that many independents took to create the life that you've always wanted. And how will we do that? Through weekly episodes, some Nella monologue, and more interviews from some very interesting people. So I want to explain the brand new format. We're going to switch things up by jumping right into the topic on each and every episode. And then we'll have a delicious indie Fiya and close out with moments to be inspired by. So let's jump right into the topic. The topic for today is 5 episodes you gotta have. These are the 5 episodes that I feel that every creative and every member of the Nella Nation that listens to the show should download, should listen to it so they can have it on their journey to success. So the first episode that I want to listen to is being a perfectionist. On this episode, we talk about ways to overcome perfectionism. Let's take a listen. We're going to talk about on this episode how to overcome perfectionism. Guys, I'm going to start off with the hard truth. Perfection doesn't exist. Even if it did, it's not what makes a good song. But perfection or constant pursuit of perfection in music is dangerous. As a matter of fact, I'll say it's dangerous in all fields of creation. Striving to do your best and to get better is great. But when it turns to perfectionism, it becomes a road to procrastination, self-doubt, and stress that blocks you from having true, authentic creativity. That's good, isn't it? And I hope that really helped you because I want the best for you, but I don't want to see you anxious. I don't want to see you overdoing it. I don't want to see you just like all these people, these gurus online. I don't want to see you grinding all the time. I want you to have a quality of life. I want you to enjoy life, to take time and smell the roses. But if you're always striving and grinding towards perfection, you won't be able to do that. So that was being a perfectionist. The second episode that every creative, every member of the Nella Nation needs to listen to is how to get rid of imposter syndrome. On this episode, we talk about the cancel culture. And yes, I'm doing air quotes. You can't see them, but I'm doing them. We talk about the cancel culture and imposter syndrome. Let's face it, as creatives, we all feel that way sometimes. We need to understand that who we are makes us unique, just like a snowflake, just like a sunset, just like a rainbow. What we've been through makes us exactly who we are, and that's why we shine. So let's take a listen to this episode. Today's topic is how to overcome imposter syndrome. I know it's the latest thing out. People are really bringing it out. It's being addressed and mentioned a lot in today's social media, pretty much everywhere. I want to give you 3 ways to really to put a snuff to kill imposter syndrome, because I want you to know you are who you are. In other words, let me break that down. You is who you is. You understand me? Let that be a firm fact in your life. Where you come from, what you've done in life, and what you've overcome makes you unique for your brand, for your goal, for your specific niche that you market, that you put out, that you release, that you write, that you paint. What makes you you should encourage you daily that you are the best person qualified for this job. Like I'm the best person qualified to be Chris Nella because of the things that I've been through, the obstacles. That makes me the best Chris Nella that there could possibly be. You understand me? There's no better Chris Nella. There's no better you. There's no better author to write that book. There's no better pianist to compose that piece, because you'll capture the pain and the victory and the overcoming. So you worry about being you. Don't judge how other people consider or see you being you. I'm going to say this and I want you to say it with me. I am who I am. Literally say that out loud. I am who I am. I really hope that helped you. I like that part. You is who you is. You understand me? You know, to me, that is everything. I am who I am. And here's the fact, guys. It took me some time to acknowledge, but I'm not for everybody. And here's a fact. Listen up, newsflash, message. You're not for everybody, but I am for you. I am for certain people. I am for my tribe. I am for my Nella Nation. And I've come to an understanding that that is the way of the world. There's nothing I can do about it but embrace it and love who I am, or love who I is. You understand me? Oh, I'm having too much fun. Guys, this is the 50th episode of Nellascope, starting from 1 all the way to episode 50. So here it is. This is the specialness, so to speak. I don't care if it's a word or not. It's my show. The specialness of this show, I turned 50 this year, and I also had my 50th episode. Look at God. Won't he do it? Let's keep it going, guys. The third episode that I think that every creative should listen to, every member of the Nella Nation, is It Still Good to You? You know, they had a song asking, is it still good to you? On this episode, we talk about if you're still in love with your craft. Because let's be honest, sometimes you don't want to talk to that craft. You understand me? Sometimes you turn a cold shoulder to your craft. But this episode offers a gut check and ways to overcome that feeling so you can fall right back in love with your craft. Let's take a listen to the episode. Is it still good to you? As an artist, as a creative, sometimes things slow down. Sometimes we get stagnant. And sometimes, let's just be honest, things are not the same. What we want to do, we want to talk about a few quick steps to check your temperature to see if it's still good to you. Being an old head has its advantages. You have your own sound, you have the respect of your peers. People look up to you, and you have your own look and your own that make you, the artist that people have known and loved for quite some time. And some things get better with time, like fine wine. But some things left unattended can rot like old fruit. So on this episode, we dive into, is it still good to you? We will look at a short list to see if the music you once lived for has become a hobby or a thing of the past. So that was, is it still good to you? And just like the song, I want to know, is it still good to you? Writing those books, does it still feel the same? Painting that artwork, does it still feel the same? Baking those pies or those brownies, yes Lord. Does it still feel the same to you? Do you still love it? If not, we need to find our way back to it. And I hope that episode can help you find your way back to the love of that thing, that craft, your niche. So that was, is it still good to you? Let's go ahead and go to the next episode, the fourth personally curated episode, the 5 properties of success. On this episode, we take an in-depth look at what some of the properties of successful people are. Let's take a listen to that episode. The topic is, what are the 5 properties of success? Again, the topic is, what are the 5 properties of success? And me being a singer, I've applied these. Now, you being a creative listening out there, you can apply this to any field. The principles of success are the same. They're universal. They're ambidextrous, so to speak. You can use them whether you're a playwright, whether you're a movie producer, whether you're a screenwriter, whatever your profession of creativity is. These 5 properties of success that I'm going to share with you today, they will work regardless of the situation, because they've worked for me and they've been very, very fruitful. There has to be some application in order for the properties to work. Number 1. The number 1 property of success: every day do something that makes you uncomfortable. The number 1 property of success: every day do something that makes you uncomfortable. Eleanor Roosevelt said, you gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. So every day that you're waking up, something throughout your day, something should make you uncomfortable. My pastor once told me, if your dream doesn't scare you just a little bit, you're not dreaming big enough. Here are the facts. When you're out of your comfort zone, you are more alert and aware, because here are the facts. You're scared. You don't want anything to go wrong. and you want whatever you're pursuing to be done right the very first time. So that's why I encourage, let it be something that's unknown. If you have a fear of public speaking, start off small. If you've never performed in front of a crowd, except with your head down and your back turned, find some small gatherings. This is where the growth towards success starts, because success is not an easy thing. Any level of success is not an easy thing. It costs something from the pursuer of success. Success is not cheap, because if that was the case, everyone would have a #1 hit. Everyone would have a blockbuster movie if success was easy and it came easy. You have to do something that costs you each and every day. And when you do that, you gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience. Yeah. When you listen to that episode, some very important factors. One, you have to activate the properties. You have to do something. The properties just don't become active in your life. You have to do something. And another point I want to bring up, the properties are ambidextrous. You can make them do exactly what you want them to do or need them to do in your life. Now, on this 50th episode, the 5th episode is the season 2 finale, where my mentor, Karen Marie Mason, comes into the show, does a 2-part interview. Now, if you've never listened to anything on Nellascope, you gotta listen to part 1 and 2. This lady is responsible for the marketing and the pretty much everything that had to do with the iconic group Crisscross. She helped Mary J. Blige, a lot of stars that you know today. She helped them and hundreds of others. She became my mentor, literally took me under her wing, and she's near and dear to my heart. So much so that, I don't know if you hear it in the interview, but I affectionately call her Auntie. So we're going to listen to the 5th personally curated episodes, the season 2 finale, Karen Marie Mason. I would be remiss if I did not include this very special interview in my 50th episode of Nellascope. Let's take a listen to this powerful interview. And again, if you've never listened to an episode of Nellascope, I recommend you listen to part 1 and part 2 and really be empowered. Without further ado, Karen Marie Mason on the 50th edition of Nellascope. Let's have a listen.
I also want to say that, I feel like my whole life is a testament to really staying focused in the midst of storms at times, but also to be able to really hold on to your ideas. Hold on to the ideal that you've established for yourself and know that it can manifest. Not maybe, not, I don't know if I'm gonna be a singer. I don't know if I'm gonna do this. No, beside that, it's yes, I am gonna do that. That little girl that I homeschooled, who started her own magazine, went on to full scholarship at Howard University, worked for Harry Reid, who was at that time the state Senate Majority Leader, went back to school on full scholarship again, got her degree in international relations, and became a diplomat. She's been in Vietnam. She's now in Guinea. Today she's in Ethiopia. You know what I'm saying? And her next post will be back in Southeast Asia. Because what we must do is not only focus 100 on the things we want for ourselves, but also develop within our children, even if we're scared, develop within them a fearlessness and a desire and a knowledge that they can do whatever that they want to do. That the sky is really literally not even the limit, right? So now little Miss Kenya speaks fluent French and fluent Vietnamese. And she goes back to Southeast Asia, she'll be speaking fluent Mandarin. She ain't come here to play with y'all. But neither should you. And I'm talking to you, that artist, that writer, that instrumentalist, that singer, that producer. You don't have any idea where your blessing is going to come from. I just happened to be at a video shoot. Someone just happened to mention Tyler Perry to me. I just happened to go over there. Now, I say happen, but we also know there are no coincidences. So we never know where it's going to come from. When Sylvia called me when I was at Columbia, I had never spoken to Sylvia. Everyone knew who Sylvia was. Everyone admired her for all she'd done in the business as a black woman. But I had never even spoken to her. And here she is, not her secretary calling me. She's calling me.
Wow. She takes the time out of the day.
That's what I'm saying. We can create the roadmap that we want for ourselves and for our lives. Who you expect to do that? Who are you expecting to do that for you? We're always looking outside of ourselves. And I challenge you to look within yourself and see the God that you are and can therefore manifest anything that comes to mind. And I mean anything.
Yeah, literally anything.
Literally anything. How do we think the first car was built? How was the first plane built? It came out of somebody's mind.
Right.
So the question is, where's your mind? Why are you not coming up with what's already in there? Oh, you busy. Oh, you busy on Instagram. You busy on social media. You busy doing stuff that's not fruitful. You missing your own abundance that is within you. And you telling yourself you can't when there is no such thing as can't. I could have told my daughter, man, you can't start no magazine. What you doing? How we going to do that? I said, oh, you want to start a magazine? Let's do it. You want to start a little clothing line? She had her own little clothing line called Modest Apparel. Let's do it. Got her sewing lessons. Everything is within our reach. It's only the time that it takes to reach you. And that's your decision. That's your decision. You get to decide that. But you can't decide it when you're clouded, when your mind is clouded by things that are not serving you, feeding you, watering you. That's your responsibility. I could tell you about it, but it's your responsibility to take your time and go within. That's how every campaign that I came up with came about. Sitting here, clearing my mind. Okay, I can't position these little boys as no hip-hop impresarios. Let me position them as a fashion statement. Ooh, you know what I'm saying? Ooh.
Right. Yeah, out of nowhere.
But out of your head. And y'all got a billion ideas in your head that can absolutely manifest. So it's throughthestages.com and healingatl.com. That's where you can find it.
Throughthestages.com and healingatl.com.
Yeah.
In closing, what would be the one thing you would tell an artist today? Because the promotions have changed. If you had to sit down an artist in your own words, and only the way that you can.
Oh, just one thing. I don't know. But because there are many things I would want to say. But the one thing I think that I would say in this conversation is to find your voice. A lot of times we come up by imitating others. It's like a child. You learn to walk by seeing other people walk. You learn to hold a cup by seeing how other people learn to cup. So you're really copying others initially. And you may do that for a moment till you kind of get a little groove and a flow about it. But I would say to them, discover and find your authentic voice. Not just your singing voice, your communicative voice. What's important to you, how you want to position yourself. Because I'm going to tell you, I don't care how good of a musician you are, how great of a singer you are. What people are interested in now is, where does your authenticity come from? That's what they're interested in now. What is your story? Back in the day, people used to think, okay, you got a great song, that's it. They didn't need to know the story, the background, the this, the that, the other. But we live in a different place in time where you've got 100, 200,000 songs being uploaded a day to streaming services. What is it that you think you're going to separate in the midst of 200,000 songs every day? And what makes you uniquely you is your story. And so my challenge to you is find that story. What is it? Maybe you were a country boy. Maybe you grew up, grandma raised you, so you got certain ways that you look at life and the way that you approach things. Maybe you were like me, family from Jamaica, spent early life in Jamaica, growing up in Brooklyn, came down with cancer, pushing through the challenges that face us. Find yourself in yourself. Not the one that you created for the job, or created for your husband or wife, or even created for your children, or created for the church. Man, you so many people, I don't even know who you are. And that's how it comes across. Confused. Mm-hmm. Give me something I could grab onto. Who are you? What's important to you? I should be able to feel that just by looking at you. The way you dress, the colors you use, your logo. I should be able to feel who you are. So that's what I would say. Find your authentic voice. And you ain't in no category by yourself. Everybody looking for that. Most people are not honest enough to admit that they're confused by who they are. And so they become a different person in every scenario. That's a hard way to live, man. That's challenging. That's really, really challenging. It's there.
It can't be put itself. Yeah, it's there.
Some people live their whole lives and never find themselves. They live their whole life as somebody else. I mean, they do. I'm not even judging. Yeah. I'm just saying, don't be that person. Because it's magic when you find yourself. When you find the you in you is magic. Everything begins to make sense.
Well, Nella Nation, as I said, this is the reason why my podcast is international. This is the reason why I provide premium content for free. Because the simple fact, this woman has poured into me because I'm pouring into you. Now, we charge you to pour into someone else.
But Nella, I just wanted to say to you, man, you're one of my best students. You make me proud. You make me proud. You really do. I am honored to be on your program. I am honored at what you're doing. I am absolutely honored at how you've taken so many of these teachings and giving them life. And I'm just grateful. It fills me with joy. It really does. So I'm so very proud of you.
And that was Karen Marie Mason, my auntie, my friend, my mentor. And she really showed me the gleanings of how artist development really works and really showing the world your authentic self. Karen Marie, she transcended on March the 22nd, 2022. And I really wanted the world. I want to share the gift of Karen Marie Mason with the world. So if you have never listened to a complete episode of Nellascope, the Karen Marie Mason interview part 1 and part 2 would be what I recommend for any creative, whether you rock with me or not. I'm going to be honest, because that would be the wish of Karen Marie, to provide some clarity to someone out there who's looking to develop their niche and to develop their brand. That would be her wish, and that's my wish for you. Now it's time for Indie Fiya. The song that I chose is my favorite supergroup, the Agape music group. The song is The Wait. You can download it and stream it wherever fine music is played. Go ahead and turn the water up high. Put a little seasoning in it. Put some rosemary in it. Oh, that's fragrant. Oh, yeah. All right, now stir that garlic. Stir it. It's time for The Wait by the Agape music group on the 50th episode of Nellascope. Enjoy.
This is John.
And this is Sequoia. And we're the Agape music group. And you are listening to
Nellascope,
the podcast.
Hey.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm looking for answers. Sometimes I get a little unsettled. Kinda feels like I'm going in circles. I be feeling like my prayers are worthless. At times I could lose my focus. Every now and then I feel a little hopeless. Then I remember, you know better, and your heart is for me. So if you say wait, I'll stay right here. And if you say go, I'll have no fear. I'll be waiting for you when I can't see the ground. Yeah, I'll be trusting in you. You said you never let me down, so I'll be waiting on you. Yeah, I'll be waiting on you. Sometimes I get impatient. Feels like my time is wasted. Every now and then I start comparing, but for real that only leaves me jealous. And I keep trying to be on the positive, but a lot of times I end up feeling opposite. Then I remember, you know better, and your heart is for me. So if you say wait, I'll stay right here. Yeah. And if you say go, I'll have no fear. I'll be waiting for you when I can't see the ground. Yeah, I'll be trusting in you. You said you never let me down, so I'll be waiting on you. Yeah, I'll be waiting on you. Yeah, I'll be waiting on you.
That was the Agape Music Group with the smash hit, The Wait. That song's available on all streaming platforms or wherever music can be streamed or downloaded. Now it's time for Moments to be Inspired By. This is the part of the program where we give motivational quotes and real life examples that help propel us to the next level. Now I know I've given you guys lots and lots of quotes over the years, but this quote right here is my top 3. It really came along on a time where I needed some inspiration. It breathed new life into me. The quote is, know that you can start late, look different, be uncertain, and still succeed. That comes from Miss Misty Copeland, and that was a Moments to be Inspired By. Nella Nation, episode 50. Wow, episode 50. It's a wrap. Guys, I need you to know something. On this 50th episode, I want you to feel as proud as I feel. And let me tell you why. Because without you spreading the word, listening week after week, there would be no Nellascope. I would be a guy talking to a vast amount of darkness. But you make it possible for us to go around the world. You make it possible to sling this free grown man knowledge, as I like to call it. You make it possible. We are Nellascope together. It's episode 50, guys. It means a lot to me. Couple of things before we get out of this 50th episode. It feels so good I don't want to leave. Now, just to remind you, Nellascope the podcast is available on all streaming platforms any everywhere in the world. We got it over in India. We got it in Ghana. We got it everywhere. If you type in Nellascope, the podcast, I will appear magically. And make sure you look at the entire all 50 catalog. Woo, that sounds good. The all 50 episode of Nellascope. Or the simplest way to get to the catalog, type in www.podomatic.com, click on listen to podcasts, type in Nellascope, and bam, there I am. To recap the show, our topic was 5 episodes you gotta have. I would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart. The indie Fiya song was The Wait by the Agape music group. We gave a great quote on moments to be inspired by. Make sure you tune in next week where we talk about 5 songs that changed the world. We're going to do a deep dive into 5 very influential songs that changed the course of music history. But you got to tune in next week. I want you to know something before you leave. I think you're special. I think you are awesome. I think you're the bee's knees. But I need you to know that God made you wonderfully, perfectly to do awesome individualistic things. But I want you to understand that you shine brighter than the stars. I love you, but God loves you more. Let that sizzle in your spirit. Guys, it's your man, Chris Nella, the host, creator, and founder of this place called Nellascope. Thank you. I hope you had fun on our 50th episode celebration. I will see you next week for episode 51. That doesn't sound as good, but I'll see you next week. Same Nella time, same Nella place. Live hard, love hard, and laugh hard. It's your man, Chris Nella, and I'm gone.